All right, today we're going to decode a massive tech revolution that's kind of hiding in plain sight. And believe it or not, it all starts with some really weird-looking internet slang coming out of China.
So, if you've ever been scrolling through Chinese social media, you've probably seen something like this, YYDS. At first glance, it just looks like someone mashed their keyboard. But it's not a typo. It's actually a kind of secret code.
Okay, so what does YYDS actually mean? Well, it's an abbreviation for Yang Yuan Di Shen, which literally translates to Eternal God. Yeah, you heard that right. It's like the ultimate compliment, and it all started in the world of esports. Fans of this legendary League of Legends player Uzi began using it to talk about his insane, godlike skills. And from there, it just completely blew up online.
But here's the really fascinating part. The reason this slang even exists has less to do with culture and everything to do with the incredibly smart technology that's baked into pretty much every Chinese keyboard out there.
Okay, so this all comes down to a system called pinyin, which is how you type Chinese characters using a standard alphabet. Let's take a phrase like "you're right," which is 你说的对. Now, the slow way is to type out all 11 letters, but the fast way? The keyboard is so smart that it knows if you just type the first letter of each of those words, NSDD, you're trying to say the whole phrase. We're talking 4 letters instead of 11. It's a total game changer for speed.
And get this abbreviation trick isn't just for slang. It works for tons of common phrases. And this one powerful feature, well, it's become the foundation for an all-out tech war.
Right, so this leads us to what people are literally calling the input method war. It's this incredibly fierce, high-stakes battle between China's tech giants, and they're all fighting for one thing: control of your keyboard. I mean, think about it for a second. What's the one app you use more than any other on your phone? It's probably your keyboard, right? So if a company controls that, they don't just control a keyboard. They control a gateway to search, to translation, to everything. But the real prize? They get this incredible, real-time data on how millions of people actually talk and what they're talking about. That's pure gold.
So who's in this fight? Well, there are 3 main players slugging it out. You've got Sogou, the OG pioneer in this space, with a massive user base of around 400 million people. But then you have 2 huge challengers, iFlytek and Baidu, and they are catching up fast with some seriously powerful tech.
And they each have their own game plan. Sogou is kind of the established veteran. They call it the National Input Method. iFlytek, on the other hand, is all in on voice. Their whole thing is crazy accurate voice recognition. And then there's Baidu, the AI giant, and they're just throwing all their AI muscle into making their keyboard the smartest one out there.
Okay, so all this competition, it's been rocket fuel for innovation. We're moving way beyond just typing now. The next big frontier is turning your voice into the new keyboard.
And you can see it happening already. While pinyin typing is still huge, younger users are really starting to prefer voice input. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's faster, it's way easier, and it's a natural fit in a culture where everyone is already used to sending voice notes on apps like WeChat. For a lot of people, talking just feels more human than tapping on glass.
So, to get people on board, companies like iFlytek started making some really bold claims. They said their voice recognition was, get this, 98% accurate.
But yeah, there was a catch. A big one. That amazing 98% number, that's what they got in a perfectly silent, soundproof room. And, well, when was the last time you used your phone in a perfectly silent room?
Right, so this became the billion-dollar problem to solve. How do you make voice input work perfectly, not in a lab, but in the real world? On a noisy subway, in a packed restaurant. How do you do that? The solution they came up with is just brilliant. It's a 2-part AI punch. First, they have these powerful AI models that are trained to literally pull your voice out of all the background chaos. But the second part is what's absolutely wild. The keyboard can use your phone's front-facing camera to actually read your lips. It analyzes your lip movements to double-check the words, which makes it way more accurate in loud places. So cool. So as cool as all this keyboard tech is, it's actually all pointing towards something much, much bigger. We're talking about a future where we might not be so glued to our phone screens.
Think about how we interact with computers. We went from the keyboard and mouse to the touchscreen. That was the last huge leap. And now, the entire tech industry is searching for what's next, and a lot of very smart people are betting that it's going to be voice, especially when you think about things like smart glasses and other wearables. And this isn't just some sci-fi theory, it's already being used. Let me give you an example. This is from an actual call made by an AI voice assistant for a huge delivery company called Kaineo. It's calling a customer to confirm a delivery. So listen to what the person does. They totally interrupt the AI and ask a completely different question about another package. It's such a human thing to do, right? And this is the exact moment where almost any other automated phone system would just fall apart.
But check this out. The AI just pauses for a second, totally understands the new question, looks up the data, and then gives a perfectly normal conversational answer. It's incredible. That's what seamless interaction looks like.
And it's this exact kind of powerful, flexible AI that led the founder of Baidu, Li Yanhong, to make this really bold prediction a few years ago. He said, look, the last 10 years were all about making us more dependent on our smartphones. The next 10 years will be about making us less dependent on them. So when you put it all together, from secret internet slang that's born from a keyboard shortcut to AI that can read your lips, it all seems to be pointing in the same direction, which leaves us with a really big question to think about. Is your voice about to become the next computer mouse?